Are you getting enough sleep? Hey, it's Lucas Grobot, and you're listening to Weaver and Loom. Welcome back to Weaver and Loom. This is episode 89, and for the last 5 episodes, and for the next 5 episodes, we are talking about my new book, Anchored: The Discipline to Stop Drifting, which is coming out this Thursday, October 3rd. I am so excited. It's been 6 years in the making. I've kind of sat on it for the last 2 years, hemming and hawing, and just last month, I was confronted by a dear friend of mine who said, "You just need to put this book out. You need to do what you actually wrote in your book and just put it out there, publish and push and send your work out into the world and stop overthinking it." And you see, 6 years ago, I was felt stuck, spinning my wheels, and so I started writing this book as a letter, as a manifesto to myself so that I could figure out my life, so I could figure out how to move forward into the world successfully and actually achieve my goals and my dreams. I hope that you get it because it helped me so much, and I know it will help you so much. Another exciting thing that is happening today over on True Story Tent, Abdullah Ma'auli's podcast. Abdullah was on this podcast, Own the Future, about a year ago now. I love him, dear friend. I had the privilege and the honor of visiting one of his events, True Story Tent, where people gather and they share stories from their life. And the cool thing about it is that Abdullah then goes and interviews the people and puts a podcast, highly produced. It's epic. It's awesome. I love it. And my story is on there today, Sunday, and I felt it's a pretty vulnerable story for me. I really opened up and share things that I don't even share over here on Own the Future and Weaver and Loom. So please go and check out True Story Tent. Follow, subscribe to his podcast because it's way better than mine. Just saying. So, and I haven't actually heard the episode yet. I am waiting until the release on Sunday to listen to it with you. I'm pretty nervous. I'm pretty excited. I don't always get like that, but for this story, I definitely am. I can't give anything away in the story. It really is just that epic. It's a great story, and his production of the story, the little clip that I've heard, it brought me to tears. So go check out the podcast. True Story Tent. Abdullah. Thank you. Today, we are actually still on chapter 4 of the book. I just remembered this, probably the story that I tell most often to people when I'm talking about anything, talking about my life, talking about my book. And that is, when I was in university, I was trying so hard to hack my sleep schedule. I needed 8.5 to 9 hours of sleep every night. If not, I would get sick. And I hated and I resented myself because of it. So I would do crazy things like try to stay up for 48 hours straight and then sleep for 24 hours and try to become more productive by having more hours in the day or something. I don't know what I was thinking. Try to go to bed at like 5 in the afternoon so I could wake up at 2 in the morning and get work done when everyone else is sleeping. Just weird stuff. Anyway, it turned out that every week at the end of trying these crazy sleep experiments, I would crash and get sick, and it'd take me so long to recover. And I was so confused because I looked around at all these successful, icons and entrepreneurs and people who, you know, started crazy businesses, and always the narrative that I at least thought I heard or believed about these people is that they never sleep. They only live off 3 hours of sleep a night. It's crazy how productive they are. So I was trying to, be like them, and it didn't work. So I grew frustrated with myself, and as I was writing this book, I discovered this story. It's a study that was actually done by Harvard Medical School in 2003. And in the study, they had three groups. They had a control group, which is a group that's getting 8 hours or more of sleep a night. So they're sleeping like normal. They have a 6 hour sleep a night group. And then they have a group that gets no sleep over 48 hours. And so they did tests on each of these groups on their motor skill reflexes, their cognitive ability, how fast they're reacting, how how productive they are in a day. And so here's the crazy thing that happened. The people that got 8 hours of sleep a night, they were normal. Their productivity remained the same. The people who got 6 hours of sleep a night, their productivity dropped and continued to drop. But after about a week of getting 6 or less hours of sleep a night, they thought that they were beginning to operate at normal levels. So when they were asked, "Do you feel like you're operating at 100%?" They'd be like, "Yeah, I feel like I'm at total productivity. I'm making headway. My motor skill reflexes are great. I'm doing fine." When in reality, their productivity had dropped dramatically, but they were unaware of it. And then the last group it stayed up for 48 hours straight. By the end of it, their motor skills were terrible, their cognitive ability was terrible. But here is the crazy part. After 2 weeks of people being sleep deprived at 6 or less hours of sleep a night, they had the same motor skills, the same reaction time, the same cognitive ability, the same productivity as the group that had been up for 48 hours without sleep. Now, do you remember or have you ever been up for 48 hours without getting any sleep? I know I have. And when after 24 hours of sleep, I feel like I can't see straight, I'm slow, I'm dropping things, I can't think straight, I can't do anything. Zero productivity. The group that was 6 hours or less had the same productivity, the same motor skills, the same abilities as those who had been up for 48 hours straight. Guys, girls, sleep. It may seem like a waste of time, but sleep is one of the most important factors in our life for our body to heal, for our body to regenerate, to get energy, to get ideas. Oftentimes, when we take naps, when I take naps, I wake up from the nap with clarity and problems get solved because while you sleep, your mind is actually working to solve things that you're trying to figure out in your life. Sleep, it is so important. I know that for me, when on my path to trying to be, productive, to try to make a difference and to do something with my life, sleep is the first thing that goes. I'm like, up, I'm just gonna get less sleep and that will fix it. When really, when I get less sleep, it's actually shortening my lifespan. When I get less sleep, it's actually decreasing my productivity. And I just don't realize it. I think I'm living in an illusion, believing that I'm actually getting enough work done. They also did a study, and I share about it in this book. They did a study on fighter pilots that after they took a 20-minute cat nap, their motor skills jumped up, their reaction times jumped up by a large percentage. I don't remember exactly what it was. You can go and get the book and find out on October 3rd. Sleep, ladies and gentlemen, sleep. It's so important. Don't neglect it. So thank you for being here with me today on Weaver and Loom, Own the Future. This has just been one of the funnest things, just being able to be with you every day. So if you're listening to this every day, please send me a message and just say hi. I always respond. I want to hear from you. I'd love to hear your questions. And it also means so much to me if you shared this episode, this podcast with a friend who is not getting enough sleep. Until next time, I'm Lucas Scrobot. This is Weaver and Loon Own the Future. You're a change maker, and this is where destiny is woven.